Next we are going to see about force on a differential current element. So before we going to that, you can see a general concept. The general concept is, first if we consider a differential element. Differential element is having a length dl. If the current flowing through this differential length dl is I, then it is called as a differential current element IDL. Okay, for the same length, if we consider the area, that area is represented by ds, right? Then we need to define the surface current density for this. Surface current density for this represented by K, and the area is ds. Next, if we consider the same element, then if we assume the differential volume is dV, now in this case we need to define as a convection current density. Convection current density is represented by J into dV. See the difference between the three. First one is with respect to length, second one is with respect to surface area, third one is with respect to the whole object, that is called volume. So J dV I into dl and K into ds. K is called as a surface current density, J is called as a convection current density. So we are going to write the equations with respect to length, with respect to ds, and with respect to dV, that is force on a differential current element, with respect to dl, with respect to ds, and with respect to dV. Now let's see here. Differential element is nothing but a large number of free charge carriers for small volume. When charge particles are moving through a steady magnetic field, then there will be an effect of magnetic force on differential element, and it is given by, as per the previous concept, that is Lorentz force equation concept, F is equal to Q into V bar cross V bar. So but for a differential current element, that is dF is equal to dQ into V bar cross V bar. It is only for magnetic field only, there is no electric field, that's why QE term is not present in this. Okay, next the convection current density is given by J is equal to rho V into V, where V is called velocity and B is called as a magnetic flux density. J is called as a convection current density. But the differential element of charge can be expressed in terms of volume charge density rho V. We know in the model 1 dq is equal to rho V into dV. So substitute these equations in equation 1, then dF is equal to rho V dV. Rho V dV is nothing but dq V bar cross V bar. Substitute this dq in equation 1, you will get this one. But rho V into V can be represented as rho V into V can be represented as J bar, and dV is same as it. dV is same as it is here. So ds is equal to J bar cross V bar into dV. But J dV is equal to K ds is equal to IDL. All the expressions units must be same, then only you can equate all these three with respect to differential volume, with respect to differential surface area, with respect to differential length. Now we are going to write the equations with respect to differential volume, differential surface, and differential current I. So the dF, that is force on a surface current density, is dF is equal to K bar cross B bar into ds. So in this case, when J dV is equal to K ds, J dV can be replaced by a K ds. When J dV is present here, that is replaced with what? IDL. That's it about the representation of force equation. So dF is equal to K bar cross B bar ds. Similarly for differential length, dF is equal to IDL cross B bar. So if we take the integration for these three equations, that is equation 4, equation 6, equation 7, we'll get force due to convection current density J bar, that is in terms of J bar. Next, force due to surface differential surface area ds, and similarly force due to differential length dl. All these three equations are different. One is with respect to volume, differential volume, one is with respect to differential surface area, another one is with respect to differential length only. So this equation only we are going to use frequently for solving the problem. That equation is F is equal to line integral of I dl cross B bar. I means current, dl means differential length, B bar means magnetic flux density. So this is for complete force equation. Now when many differential lengths are present, if you combine all the differential length to get the complete force means, then directly take the product, that is integration will vanish, is nothing but integration dl is equal to L only. So therefore I L cross B bar, it is nothing but A bar cross B bar, AB sin theta, that is nothing but ILB sin theta, where theta is the angle between the conductor and the B bar. So this is about the force experienced by all the three terms: differential surface area, differential length, and differential value. Okay, this equation is force due to differential current element only, single element. Now we are going to see about force between the two conductor elements, that is between the two differential current elements, how that can be analyzed. So next topic is force between the differential current element. To analyze this one here, once again we are going to consider a general analysis or concept. The general analysis or the concept is, okay, first general analysis or the general concept is, first consider one conductor through which the current is I. That means this is the conductor, through the conductor the current is I. So the current I is in this direction, current I is in the thumb direction. Then the remaining fingers surrounding this conductor is in this direction. So the remaining fingers which indicates the direction of flux. If the current is I in this direction, the flux direction is in this case. So flux direction is in this case. This is the direction of flux. This is the direction of flux surrounding the conductor. Similarly, if you take one more conductor through which the current is I, okay, through which the current is I. When the current is flowing upward direction, then the flux direction surrounding the conductor is like this. So this side is like this, means this side is downwards. This side means it is flowing in this direction. It is in this direction. So the flux in this case in this direction. That means here it is upward direction, here it is a downward direction. Both are opposite direction. That means there is a force of attraction. There is a force of attraction. Okay. Now in the second case, assume current is upwards as it is, the current is downwards in the second conductor. So then these flux directions are same, both are in the same direction. When both are in the same direction, there will be a what? Force of repulsion. Force of repulsion. So based on this concept here, we are going to analyze force between differential current elements through the two conductors. If the current is flowing in the same direction, what is the value of force? Through the two conductors, the current is flowing in opposite direction. What is the value of force? Whether it is attractive force or repulsive force, how we can analyze. Now let's see here. Consider two current carrying conductors are placed parallel to each other. Each of this conductor produces its own flux around it. Due to the interaction of these two fluxes, there exists a force between the two conductors. The direction of force between the two conductors depends on the directions of the two conductors. If the direction of the two conductors are same, then the conductors experience a force of attraction as shown in figure. That's what I have explained. Next, if the direction of the currents are opposite to each other, then the conductors experience a force of repulsion. See, this case 1, both the currents are in the same direction, then there will be a force of attraction as per the previous concept that what I explained. The conductor 1 current is upwards, conductor 2 current is downwards, then there will be a force of repulsion. Next, the same concept is applied for the closed conductor. If you consider two closed conductors which are placed nearer to each other, that is closed conductor 1 through which current is I1, closed conductor 2 through which current is I2. Both currents are in the same direction as per this. That means there will be a force of attraction. To analyze further here, we need to consider a differential length. Say the differential length is dl1. This differential length is very small length, so therefore that is assuming as a point P1. Similarly, dl2 is very small length. We are assuming this is as a point P2. So between this point 1 and point 2, that is P1 and P2, there is a length. That length is represented by, that is a distance that is represented by r bar P1 and P2. So because of this differential current element, there will be a force on this differential current element, or otherwise because of this differential current element, there will be a force on this differential current element. That we are going to derive the mathematical expressions. So considered here, now consider two current elements I1 dl1, that is current flowing through the conductor 1 with a differential length dl1, and I2 dl2 located at point P1 as well as P2 as shown in figure. The magnetic field at point P2 due to the I1 dl1 is given. That means in this case we are obtaining the force on the second element due to the first element. So therefore first we are determining the magnetic field at the point of P2 due to this differential current element, that is nothing but I1 dl1 is according to Biot-Savart's law. dH2 is equal to I dl1 cross the unit vector. Unit vector is A r1 r2 divided by 4 pi r square. R square is nothing but r square P1 and P2. But we know B is equal to mu into H. Mu into H, the same thing, dH will be substituted here. It is the dB2 expression, that is magnetic flux density at point P2. Next, the force on differential current element I2 dl2, that we have to determine. Because of what? Differential flux density dB2, that is because of differential current element I1 dl1, and it is given by, already it is d only, it is differential. Again further we are determining with respect to another element, so therefore one more differentiation term, d of df2 is equal to I2 dl2 cross dB2. Please remember, one more d is with respect to the second conductor. This dH2 is with respect to the first one conductor. This d of d2 is with respect to another conductor. So therefore d of df2 is equal to I2 dl2 cross dB2. dB2 substitute from here, then you will get this mathematical equation. Now this is the differential force at point P2 due to this only differential current element. So if you want to determine the total force at the point, if you want to determine the total force at this point P2 due to this entire conductor is, then we need to take the integration for this mathematical equation. Integration, then you will get dF2. Again take the integration, then you will get the total force Ft is equal to. Why the double integration means, first integration with respect to conductor 1, second integration is with respect to second conductor. So that's why double integration is considered to get the total force at point P2 due to the entire conductor, that is conductor 1. So this is the mathematical equation, that is force at point P2 due to the current carrying element, that is I1 dl1. L1. Next, we are going to see problem based on this force equation only. So a point charge of q is equal to minus 1.2 coulombs as velocity. That means this charge is moving with velocity v is equal to, that means the velocity is along the three directions, 5ax plus 2ay plus minus 3az meter per second. Find the magnitude of the force exerted on the charge if electric field is present, if only magnetic field is present, if both are present. That means three cases is applicable for this problem. What is electric field? E bar is equal to minus 18ax bar plus 5ay bar minus 10az bar. Similarly, magnetic field B bar is equal to this. Third one is when these two are present, E and B bar is present, what is the force experienced on the point charge? We know solution is when only electric field is considered, force on that point charge is equal to F is equal to Q into E bar. When both are, when magnetic field is present, the force on that point charge is F is equal to Q of V bar cross B bar. When both fields are present, then the force equation is F is equal to Q of E bar plus V bar cross B bar. That what you have studied in the Lorentz force equation. Now let's see here from the beginning. When only electric field is present, what is the force equation? F is equal to Q into U. Q substitute from the data, E also substitute in the equation, then you will get force. Then the magnitude of the force means square root of all the three terms, Ax term, Ay term and Az term. This is the force due to an electric field. Similarly, force due to magnetic field. Formula is F is equal to Q into V bar cross B bar. That is nothing but cross product. Cross product between what and what? Velocity as well as the magnetic flux density. Velocity as well as the magnetic flux density. Q is multiplied. This is the real number that is multiplied directly with the value. Then you will get the force F is equal to this. This is the force equation due to what? Only magnetic field. When both are present, add both the electric field force as well as magnetic field force, then you will get the total force when both are present. Okay, this is about the problem based on the force due to electric field as well as the magnetic field. Next, one more problem. So for the square loop of wire, that means this is a wire which is formed as a square loop, placed in the z is equal to 0 plane. That means which is in the x and y plane only. That means we are looking from the z direction plane carrying 2 milliamps. That means this is the squared loop wire through which the current is 2 milliamps in the field of an infinite filament. Infinite filament formula that we need to consider on y-axis as shown in figure. Calculate the total force on the loop. That is, what is the force experienced by this loop when I current is flowing. When I current is flowing through the loop. Solution is, for a filament we know the standard formula, that is magnetic field intensity. H bar is equal to I divided by 2 pi x into Az bar. X is nothing but a distance. It is radial distance r, but we know B is equal to mu naught into H. Then write this equation. So total force on the loop is equal to the sum of the forces on the four sides of the filament. So force along this direction, force along this direction, force along this direction, force along this direction. Here two currents are given. So this current will be considered is when this current is considered to be on when. Now let's say this current is for the calculation of magnetic field intensity, because whatever the current flowing through this square loop, due to this only, this loop is experiencing some amount of force. So therefore this 2 amps will be considered in the force equation only, but this current is considered for the calculation of magnetic field intensity. Okay, don't get, this is the filament, and nearer to this filament, if you placed one square loop, What is the force experienced by this square loop when some amount of current is flowing through that? Okay, so we know that the force F is equal to line integral of I dl cross B bar. I is same, take out the common, B bar cross dl. Why? If you interchange these two as per the cross product, then the sign will change. So if you move B here, dl is this side, then instead of plus, minus will come. That is the thing here, minus I integration B bar cross dl. Or otherwise you can write like this only, dl cross B bar, no problem, the same answer. If you write like this, it is plus. If you change these two positions, then it is a minus. So total force on the loop is equal to F is equal to, along this direction, this side is parallel to y-axis, this side is parallel to this side is parallel to y-axis, this side is parallel to x-axis. Once again, this is parallel to y-axis, but this is along the x-axis only. That means 2 AY bars and 2 AX bars are considered. Now let's see here how to write this, expand this mathematical equation. So minus of, okay, so d we are using this equation, minus of line integral of B bar cross dl. So minus I same as it is, okay, integral of B bar cross D bar. First one is B bar, second one is dl bar, okay. dl is along what direction? That is x direction, first part, okay. Similarly for the second part, I minus I integration B bar cross dl, minus I integration B bar is same for all these terms, cross dl. dl is along what direction? That we have considered y direction. See here, the limits itself is telling along what direction. If it is x means x direction, if it is y means y direction, plus see, x direction, y direction, x direction, y direction. With these two are parallel to x axis, these two are x direction, y direction, x direction, y direction. That means this is parallel to y axis, this is also parallel to y axis, this is parallel to x axis, this is along the x axis. That is 2x bars and 2 ay bars. Same thing. Ax bar, ay bar, ax bar and a y bar. With respect to the limits are changing from as per the data. X limits are changing from where to where means 1 to 3. Y limits are changing from where to where? 0 to 2. X limits are changing from 3 to 1. Y limits are changing from 2 to 0. The same thing here also in this mathematical equation. If you simplify this one, you will get. Please remember here, AZ bar cross AX bar. What is our formula? Minus AY bar. Similarly, AY bar. Similarly, here also, A Z bar cross AY bar. What is the formula? Minus AX bar. Similarly here, AZ bar cross AX bar plus AY bar. AZ bar cross AY bar minus AX bar. Okay. So if you substitute like that, directly you will get this answer. No need to take the cross product for each and every term. It is a very lengthy process. By knowing the simple formulas, AZ bar cross AX bar is AY bar. AZ bar cross AY bar is minus AX bar. Directly substitute and get the answer for this problem. This is about the force for the given loop.